I'm so glad that we're together. I'm so glad you're near. It's good when friends are together. I'm so glad I'm here. Welcome to the workshop, welcome to my special friend. I'm so happy and delighted you are near today. I'm so glad you came to visit. I'm so glad I am here. It's going to be a really good day, all because you're near. I'm so glad that we can be friends, learn together, grow together, talk together, sing together, a song or maybe two. 1, 2. I'm so glad you came to visit. I'm so glad I'm here. It's going to be a really good day, all because you're near. Hello, friend. I am glad you are here with me today. Did you notice that I didn't bring anything with me in my hands when I came in today? Well, that's because I brought an idea in my mind. I brought an idea of something I would like for us to create today. So let's go over to the table and talk about my idea. But before we do, did you notice this laying on the butler? Were you curious what this might be? Well, these are some pictures some young friends of mine drew of rainbows. If you remember, when we were together last time, we created a rainbow sun catcher. Well, these are some rainbows some young friends of mine drew. This one, a young friend drew and sent to me by email. My printer wasn't working well, so it didn't print as pretty as the colors that he used when he made this rainbow. But isn't this a beautiful rainbow? Let's show you another one. Here's another rainbow that a young friend of mine made. Here's another one. This is very different, isn't it? Has a lot of purple. But the sky's the limit. Your rainbow can look any way you choose for it to look. This one's very different too. Look at all the colors. Oh, and this is a very different rainbow as well. But my young friend assured me that this was indeed a rainbow. Look at all the pretty colors. We're back to the first one. I'll put these right here. Now, let's go over to the table and talk about my idea. Come on. Do you remember yesterday in our fantasy play when Boo Caribou thought a leprechaun had rolled a bowling ball at him? Remember, as he was getting ready to collect the gold, he saw the bowling ball rolling down the rainbow toward him? Of course, there was no leprechaun. No, it was merely Bewley rolling the bowling ball. Leprechauns are folklore creatures. Folklore means a legend or a myth. I believe SmartScreen has a picture of a leprechaun, of what people believe a leprechaun might look like, or imagine that a leprechaun might look like. Let's ask SmartScreen to show us the picture of the leprechaun. SmartScreen, would you please show us the picture of a leprechaun? Notice that the leprechaun is wearing green. He even has a green hat. In many of the stories about leprechauns, they are believed to be bankers who protect money, especially gold. The idea in my mind is to make a leprechaun hat bank. Look closely at the leprechaun's hat. I know I have everything here at the workshop to make a leprechaun hat bank. Thank you, Smart Screen, for showing my friend and me the picture of the leprechaun. Let's make that bank. What we will need, of course, is some tape and an empty coffee container. Never take a coffee container from the kitchen before you ask your special adult if you may, because it might have coffee in it. When my wife got finished with this container of coffee, I asked if I could have it, and she said I could. So I put it aside for a special time like today, and we're going to use this today. We'll also need our craft bag. And inside our craft bag, we have some green poster board. Now, my idea was to take the green poster board and wrap it around the coffee container, the empty coffee container, like so, and then take tape and tape it on the back. Looks a little bit like a leprechaun hat, doesn't it? The top part. Well, I knew that would take a little time, so what I went ahead and took the liberty of doing is going ahead and wrapping the top. Also, before I show you that, I cut this round circle. Do you know what this is for? This is the brim of the hat. So that would be the brim, the bottom part, and then the top part would fit on the brim like so. And I took my coffee container and I figured out what would be about the center, and I drew a circle. I used this coffee container as a template to draw a circle, so when it comes time to place the top part of our hat onto the bottom part, the brim, I would know about how to place it. Okay? So, here I have the top part of our hat. And like I said, this is just poster board wrapped around the coffee container. And then I taped it in the back. Now, I had an old belt and it broke. It was no more good to me. But I put it aside because I thought we might could use it for a special project. And today is definitely a special project. So I cut the belt to make it the right size for this hat. And this is the belt that goes around our leprechaun hat. Now, there's one important thing about a bank. We need a way to put money inside, and there is no way to do that with the container, because the container doesn't have an opening in the top. So this is something you would need to get your special adult to help you with. I took my special top and I bent it like so, and with scissors, and again, this is something that your special adult would need to help you with. With scissors, I cut a place for us to put money. And so when you put money in your bank, when you get ready to take money out of your bank, you just take the top off of the coffee container. And I'll show you what I mean. See, I cut a hole in the top of the coffee container. So, we're going to finish this leprechaun hat. I want to attach the brim to the hat. So what we will do is I will turn my hat upside down, and I'm going to put 4 pieces of tape on the bottom of the coffee container, which is now a leprechaun hat. And I'm just looping my tape so it's sticky on both sides. Now you could use glue if you want to glue the brim of the hat to the top of the hat. That's okay too. And now I will carefully line up my circle. There we go. And look at that. We have a leprechaun bank. How cool is that? A leprechaun hat bank. I don't know about you, but I really like to make things with my hands. I like to make things. I like to make things. I like to make things with my hands. When I get angry and feel real angry, it helps to make things with my hands. I don't have to hit or bite or punch, 'cause I control my feelings, my angry, mad feelings with the fun things that I make. I like to make things. I like to make things. I like to make things with my hands. I like to make things. I like to make things. I like to make things with my hands. When I get angry and feel real angry, it helps to make things with my hands. I don't have to hit or bite or punch, 'cause I control my feelings, my angry, mad feelings with the fun things that I make. I like to make things. I like to make things. I like to make things with my hands. Creating, making things, singing songs, dancing, creating stories to share with friends, playing sports, are all ways of working on angry, mad feelings. These are all ways that don't hurt you or anyone else. I think it's essential that we learn ways of controlling our out-of-control feelings as we grow. Well, why don't we have some fantasy play? Last time, Boo discovered that he could not play Mumbo's game because the bowling ball was made for those with fingers, and Boo is a caribou. He does not have fingers. Caribou are hooved animals. Boo was upset because he really wanted to play. In addition, Bewley and Boo discovered that Mumbo's game was dangerous because they had to roll the bowling ball blindly at the pins. Remember, Bewley almost hit Boo with the ball because he cannot see Boo or the pins. Well, let's pretend that Bewley and Boo are sharing their findings with Mumbo. Let's see if they can solve the safety problem and make the game playable for everyone. Maybe as they talk about Boo's disability to play, they will discover that some of their other friends might have a disability too. Let's think about that now.
Mumbo, there are two major problems with your game.
Really? What's the two problems, Vuley?
Because the rainbow curves so high in the sky, when I roll the ball, I do so blindly. I cannot see the pins. It's challenging, but it's also dangerous. See, I almost hit Boo with the ball because I could not see him at the other end of the rainbow.
Oh dear, I didn't mean to design a game that was dangerous. Challenging, yes, but not dangerous. I must fix the safety issue right away. Thank you, Vuley, for finding this design flaw. That's why this is just a prototype. That's why I always test prototypes before I manufacture a finished product. So, what's the other issue? The bowling game is made for fingers, not hooves. I cannot play your game, and I really want to. Oh, I can see how this ball would be problematic for Caribou. I think this might be an easy fix. This is another reason for a prototype game. If it is limiting to part of the population, I can try to make corrections so the game can be played by everyone. I don't want anyone left out.
Hey, I bet Poe would be at a disadvantage too. Poe has wings.
That's right, Mumbo. All the population in fantasy has fingers, hooves, or wings. Well, actually, California and Duncan Fife both have paws. True. California is a cat.
And Duncan Fife is a dog.
And cats and dogs have paws, not fingers, hooves, or wings. I'll have to give my creation some thought. I know there's a solution to the problem. Tell you what, can both of you come back tomorrow? If I can have the rest of today to work on this problem, I believe I can have the revisions made to the prototype game so we can all play tomorrow.
Tomorrow it is, Mumbo.
So Mumbo will make his game safe for everyone, and he's going to make it playable for everyone. By Boo's disability with the ball, Mumbo realized that other friends might have the same or a similar disability. Disability means that someone has a condition that limits movement, senses, or daily activities. Boo could make no progress and have no success with the ball that Vuley would have progress and success with. Likewise, Vuley would be disabled with a bowling ball with which Boo could have progress and success. Mumbo will find a creative way to solve this problem and make the game playable and safe for everyone. I guess we'll see his solution next time. You know, some problems can be solved quickly, and some problems are solved over time. Well, let's put some money in our bank. It's important to save money, and having a bank is an excellent way to save money. You never know when a rainy day might come, and having a little savings put back can be like a rainbow in the raining clouds. I have some change in my pocket. Let's compare our leprechaun hat to SmartScreen's picture. Oh, look, SmartScreen already has the picture pulled up. I see the similarities. How about you? Thank you, SmartScreen. Well, let's clean up the table. It's always important to put our things away when we're finished with them. Toys should never stay on the floor, never be left on the stairs ignored. When you're done working at the table, clean it up like I know you are able. When you are finished with what you are doing, clean up before pursuing the next adventure is always best. When the mess has been addressed, the next adventure is always best. When the mess has been addressed. And we are definitely addressing our mess, aren't we? You know, I was thinking about Boo's disability. Sometimes people have disabilities. Some disabilities are very obvious, and some aren't noticeable. I have a disability, but it's not noticeable. See? I'm dyslexic. That means that I sometimes have trouble with letters and numbers. But my disability did not hold me back. I worked very hard in school. I even went to college and graduate school. My disability is one of the things that makes me unique. When I was a child, I wished that it would just go away. But it did not. Today, though, I am thankful for my disability because I think dyslexia, my disability, has helped me become a much more creative person. There's something I want you to see over at the community center. I'd like to take you there now. Come on, let's go to the community center. I did want to stop and point out one thing. This is a reserved parking sign, and this is a reserved parking space. No one should park here except for people who have trouble walking or who cannot walk at all. Come on inside. I wanted you to see this. This is a wheelchair. And I want you to see something about this wheelchair. See, a creative person had to think up this wheelchair, design it, and make it for people who couldn't walk well or who couldn't walk at all. But one of the problems with a wheelchair is being able to manage steps like this. And that puts a wheelchair at a real disadvantage. But creative people always come up with solutions. I'd like you to see the solution to this problem of the stairs. This is a wheelchair ramp, and it allows a person in a wheelchair to be able to access different levels of a building. People who can walk can access different levels of the building by stairs. People in wheelchairs can access different levels of the building by this ramp. Well, let's put this wheelchair back where we found it. Let's go back to the workshop. Come on. I'm sure glad that we can talk about important things. And you know, when we will talk more and create more next time. Next time, I will see you next time. We will be together next time. We'll sing a song or two or three. We'll sing it strong and merrily. Next time, when we're together next time. Next time, I will see you next time. We will work together next time. We'll talk together openly about important things we see. Next time, when we're together next time. The days when you are near are always better days. I'm sure glad that you and I have had time to spend together this day. We've had a lot of important talk, and we made a hat bank. And just like there'll never be another hat bank precisely like this one, there will never be another person exactly like you. You are unique, and I like you exactly like you are. I'll see you again next time. Rainbows and a hat. Bye.